page, Tina. Get no you his house. Sell your children off. You knew your husband was your daughter, and you let him do it. And then you suppress Solange, and she's the one with the real talent. You about no Tina for nose. Stay the my page, Tina.
So the party's going on, the party's off the chain, the party's already a success. I remember Beyonce had just dropped Crazy in Love. I remember that's what was just dance floor.
But I say, man, yeah, Beyonce's on. She been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way.
So, if you thought the elevator showdown between Jay Z and Solange was the last of their drama, buckle up, because it seems like Solange is back with even bigger trouble for Jay Z, and she's bringing Diddy into the mix this time. Rumor has it that Solange is on a mission to expose how her sister Beyonce is allegedly being manipulated by Jay Z and Diddy, and perhaps even the music industry at large. And knowing Solange's fierce loyalty to her big sister, this situation is bound to get intense. Now, you might be wondering how Diddy got dragged into all of this drama. Well, it appears there's some smoke rising from the Knowles family tree, because Beyonce and Solange's mom, Tina Knowles, recently made a move on social media that has fans buzzing. When Diddy finally broke his social media silence after those federal raids on his properties, he shared a sweet Easter photo of his youngest daughter, Love, and eagle-eyed fans noticed that Tina Knowles was among those who liked the post. Although she swiftly unliked it, the fact remains that she still follows Diddy on Instagram. This seemingly innocent gesture has sparked rampant speculation among fans. Could there be something brewing within the Knowles family that prompted Solange to want to speak out? Some theories even suggest that Tina might have had a hand in Beyonce's alleged exploitation by Jay Z and Diddy, especially considering the close relationship between Jay Z and Diddy. Even Jaguar Wright, not one to shy away from controversy, has thrown Tina's name into the mix, accusing her and Beyonce's dad, Matthew, of essentially selling their daughter to the industry.
Sell it now, Tina. Stay the page, Tina. Get no you his house. Sell your children off. You knew your husband was your daughter, and you let him do it. And then you suppress Solange, and she's the one with the real talent. You about no Tina for nose. Stay the my page, Tina.
Let's dive into some backstory here. Beyonce's fandom has been buzzing with this theory for a hot minute, suggesting that maybe Beyonce was maneuvered by Jay Z. Why? Well, for starters, there's that notable 12-year age gap between them. Beyonce was still in her teenage years when she first crossed paths with Jay. In a 2008 chat with 17 magazine, Beyonce spilled the beans, revealing that she met Jay when she was 18, and they started getting cozy after about a year. "There was no rush. No one expected me to run off and get married," Beyonce said. But rewind to a 2007 interview with Charlie Rose, where Jay Z claimed they met a decade prior. Crunch the numbers, and you'll find they bumped into each other in 1997 when Beyonce was either 15 or 16.
Well, don't you remember how long it was?
Yeah, when I met her. I mean,
Was it 5 years ago? Was it?
I met her 10 years ago.
But let's unpack this a bit more. Whether Beyonce was actually 19 when their love story kicked off, or possibly even younger, the bottom line is she was a solid 12 years younger than Jay Z. And that age gap, it's not just a number. It sets up some serious power dynamics right off the bat. Even if Beyonce was legally an adult, Jay Z was already cruising through his 30s when they officially started dating. That's a whole lot of life experience, maturity, and independence stacked against her. Adding fuel to the fire, Beyonce and Jay Z roll in from completely different worlds, and that contrast can make it all too easy for someone like Jay Z to have a bit too much sway over Beyonce. In fact, Jay Z even dropped some cryptic hints about their early days together in his track 444. Remember that line where he seemingly raps about how he didn't want to claim Beyonce as his girl, opting instead to say, "Don't embarrass me" on her 21st birthday? Now, this is pretty ironic considering that Jay ended up embarrassing Beyonce by cheating on her. Now, loads of fans out there are dead set on this theory that Beyonce only stuck around post-cheating scandals because she was basically hoodwinked back when she was young and impressionable. Some say her folks even pushed her into the industry with a by any means necessary attitude. While Jay Z was out gallivanting with a lineup of ladies, Beyonce was supposedly shackled to him. She never really had the chance to spread her wings and figure out how to stand solo without him holding her hand. Fans reckon she got caught up in this cycle of dependency, where Jay Z was her go-to for everything. By the way, remember when Jay Z went on that whole redemption tour after Lemonade dropped? He flipped the script painting this picture-perfect narrative about how he and Beyonce were staying together for the sake of their family, trying to break free from all that generational trauma.
And, you know, for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome. You see, to break that cycle.
And then when they asked him what he would have done if the tables were turned, Jay Z said he hoped he would have been as strong as Beyonce.
Both sides. I mean, if the shoe had been on the other foot, if the transgressions had been on her side, do you think you would be able to be as forgiving of her as she was of you?
I hope. Again, because I love her the same way. No matter what side, I love her the same way.
But come on now. Do we honestly think Jay Z would stay with Beyonce if she publicly admitted to cheating on him with another man? Now, gaslighting might not be the only trick Jay Z's got up his sleeve. Jaguar Wright, not one to shy away from controversy, dropped a bombshell, suggesting Jay's been keeping Beyonce hooked on substances for ages, all to maintain control.
Because he's a monster. I waited a long time to see if he would grow a conscience. And the more he pumps down his wife's throat.
Jaguar even called on Beyonce's fans to rally behind a Free Beyonce movement, drawing parallels to the hashtag Free Britney campaign.
I tell you this right now, y'all talking about Free Britney, y'all need to be doing a campaign that say Free Beyonce. She is a gilded cage.
And then there's this guy, Uncle Ron, who claims he was Beyonce's personal bodyguard, going viral on TikTok with some major tea. According to him, Jay-Z's dangerous and power-hungry, allegedly pulling shady moves to keep Beyonce on a tight leash, including turning her into an addict.
But I say, man, yeah, Beyonce's on drugs. She been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way.
Now, when Jaguar Wright and Uncle Ron first dropped those bombshell allegations, the Beyonce fandom went into overdrive. Some folks brushed it off as just attention-seeking drama, but others couldn't shake the feeling that maybe, just maybe, there was some truth to what they were spilling. Then, things got even more interesting when a video surfaced of Beyonce and Jay Z leaving a pre-Grammys bash. Fans quickly noticed something off about Beyonce. She seemed totally spaced out, like she was in her own little world. And Jay Z, well, he looked pretty paranoid about the paparazzi catching Beyonce in that state. But wait, there's more.
Chill out.
Sorry, Jay-Z. Sorry.
Remember that infamous 2014 video from a Brooklyn Nets basketball game? Beyonce was acting, well, not quite herself. Social media was buzzing with clips of her swaying back and forth, even when there was no music playing. Meanwhile, Jay Z looked a bit lost, squinting up at the HD screen. And then there's this recent Grammys clip making the rounds on social media, showing Beyonce turning down Jay-Z's offer of a drink. Cue the speculation about Jay-Z possibly pushing substances on his wife. Fans are starting to connect the dots, especially since Beyonce's been acting a bit off ever since those cheating scandals rocked their world.
Welcome back to the Grammys, everybody. You know, when you equal a record, there's no way you don't get through.
However, the alleged substance issue is only one piece of the puzzle. Believe it or not, back in 2007, there were whispers circulating about Jay Z allegedly getting physical with Beyonce. Now, most of those reports have pretty much vanished from the internet, and these days, nobody's willing to touch that topic when it comes to the Carters. But if you dig deep enough, you can still find some traces of the original articles. One notable piece was originally posted on Media Takeout, although it mysteriously disappeared later on. Luckily, some savvy folks managed to grab a copy and share it on the Lipstick Alley forum. The article, titled "Assistant, I Fear Jay Z Might Be Beating Beyonce," spilled some pretty shocking details. Apparently, Media Takeout received a bombshell email from someone claiming to be Beyonce's assistant. According to this alleged assistant, Jay Z had a bit of a problem keeping his hands to himself, and while there were no claims of outright hitting, there were plenty of instances of shoving and pushing. The email went on to describe how Beyonce seemed visibly uncomfortable with these actions, especially during one incident in St. Tropez. The alleged assistant even suggested that Jay Z treated Beyonce more like an object than a person. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Media Takeout added their own commentary to the mix, hinting that Jay Z might not be above getting physical. They even mentioned obtaining a video showing Jay Z pushing a woman's face in a pretty aggressive manner.
Know that, man.
Now, the details about this mysterious woman and what prompted Jay-Z's reaction are a bit murky, but from the sounds of it, she wasn't exactly doing anything to deserve that kind of treatment. Also, you've probably heard the scoop about Jay-Z's cheating scandals. They've both been clear about it, and it's a rough chapter. But let's rewind and talk about how we all found out. So a few months before their wedding, Jay was down in Miami shooting a commercial and apparently crossed paths with an up-and-coming rapper named Olivia McFaller. Olivia spilled the beans in an interview with Radar Online, sharing that she was on set, hanging with her sister, when Jay decided to pull up his chair next to hers. They had a chat, and then he bounced.
For the most part, Jay hit me on some, I will reach you when I'm in town.
He wanted you to be his girl Friday.
Later on, one of Jay's bodyguards approached Olivia, telling her that Jay wanted her number. Well, Olivia thought it was a bit immature, and out of respect for Beyonce, she turned down the number exchange. Then, they reportedly bumped into each other again at Nobu in Miami. This time, Olivia was with her crew, and Jay was rolling with his friends, including Beyonce's sister, Solange. According to Olivia, they both ditched their tables and had a rendezvous in a private corridor where they finally swapped numbers. Olivia spilled the details to Radar Online, revealing that Solange walked right past and kinda caught the whole scene. She said, "I told you the day that Jay Z and I exchanged numbers at Nobu in Miami, Solange came walking up out of nowhere. I thought I was about to get my beat, so I backed off quickly. She has been guarding her sister's property since day one. Beyonce doesn't even have to say anything. Solange is a beast." Solange was ready to beat my when she got off that elevator and saw Jay and I talking. Jay saw Solange, and then he rushed and sent me to his bodyguard to exchange numbers with him. His name was Norman. He gave me a phone number, and I guess that was Jay-Z's extra phone for girls to call. Norman has since passed. I can't believe I dodged a whooping from Solange that day. She was a big reason why I left him alone. She gave me a look of death. Very scary. Well, we all need a Solange in our lives, right? I mean, who wouldn't want someone who's got their back like that? Because let's be real, not everyone's got your best interests at heart. Now, it seems like Beyonce had something to say about it all. In one of her tracks titled Resentment, she threw some vibes about the situation, singing, "I know she was attractive, but I was here first. Been riding with you for 6 years. Why did I deserve to be treated this way by you? I know you're probably thinking, what's up with B? I used to be so strong, but now you took my soul." But nothing major came out of the whole mess, and Olivia tried to make the most of the scandal by dropping a song called Sorry, Mrs. Carter. She wrote, "Your man, he likes model chicks. He likes all naturally flawless model chicks like me." As for her rap career, well, it didn't exactly take off, and Olivia faded into the background. Beyonce and Jay Z said "I do" on April 4th, 2008, in a low-key ceremony at Jay's Tribeca penthouse. Fast forward 2 years, and Jay found himself in the middle of another cheating storm. Hollywood Street King blog, or HSK, spilled the tea, claiming Jay had been involved with a woman even before tying the knot with Beyonce. This mystery lady was a publicist named Kathy White, and online pics suggested she had some industry connections, rubbing elbows with TV personality Claudia Jordan. HSK did some snooping and dug up a 2009 photo of Jay chilling at a Vegas nightclub table with a crew that included Diddy. And guess who else was there? Yep, Kathy. But here's the weird part. That image vanished from the internet. So, according to an insider spill into HSK, Jay-Z apparently went all out for his alleged side thing, Kathy. Word is he bought her a swanky pair of $2,500 Louis Vuitton shoes for their night out in Vegas. And get this, he told her to round up some friends to throw folks off the scent that they were a couple. Now here's where it gets tangled. HSK claimed that intel about Jay and Kathy's fling came from Kathy's buddy Jason Lee. Not sure if it's the same Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, but back in the day when HSK was the hottest blog on the block, they were dodging lawsuits left and right. And if the Jay and Kathy story was bogus, you'd think Jay's peeps would have hit up HSK to yank the post, right? Well, turns out they didn't. And over a decade later, all those posts about Jay and Kathy's alleged thing are still chillin' on HSK's website. So after that whole story blew up and the internet went into a frenzy over the rumors, Kathy decided to hit delete on her social media accounts. Things went quiet for a bit as Jay-Z got more involved in Beyonce's career. Now, rewind a bit. Before Jay-Z came into the picture, Beyonce's dad used to be her manager. But in 2011, she dropped him amid accusations of theft. An insider spilled the tea to Celebuzz, saying Beyonce's dad got pushed aside and added, "There's no bigger controller than Jay. Beyonce is great, but she'd be a little lower on the totem pole if it weren't for hooking up with Jay." The insider went on to say that Beyonce went from being under her dad's influence to being under her husband's control. Even though she wanted to make her own calls, there was always a guy pulling the strings. Then in 2012, Blue Ivy comes into the scene, and 2 years later, it's trouble in paradise after that infamous elevator showdown between Solange and Jay Z. Lots of folks thought the whole drama hinted at Jay possibly stepping out on Beyonce. In the footage, you see Solange going off on the rapper while what looks like a security guy tries to keep her in check, and at one time, Beyonce steps in to play referee between her husband and sister. Things got so heated that when they hopped in the elevator, it went from 0 to 100 real quick. It's a pretty intense moment. 10 days after the incident, the trio released a joint statement addressing the drama, saying, "As a result of the public release of the elevator security footage from Monday, May 5th, there has been a great deal of speculation about what triggered the unfortunate incident. But the most important thing is that our family has worked through it," they said in a statement to the Associated Press. Jay and Solange each assumed their share of responsibility for what has occurred. They both acknowledged their role in this private matter that has played out in the public. They both have apologized to each other, and we have moved forward as a united family. The statement continued. The reports of Solange being intoxicated or displaying erratic behavior throughout that evening are simply false. At the end of the day, families have problems, and we're no different. We love each other, and above all, we are family. We've put this behind us and hope everyone else will do the same. But let's be real. We've seen family spats, but nothing quite like this. Anybody else witnessed family drama that hit this level? So, by 2016, Beyonce's fans were already getting the vibe that something's up in her and Jay Z's world, especially after that elevator drama with Solange. Then comes the bombshell. Beyonce drops her album, Lemonade. Now, two songs, Hold Up and Sorry, start pointing fingers at Jay Z for possibly straying. She's throwing lines like, "He only wants me when I'm not there. He better call Becky with the good hair." And oh boy, the Bay Hive went into detective mode trying to figure out who this Becky was. Turns out, it's more of a name for all the women in general, not just one specific person. Rumors about Beyonce and Jay Z's rocky marriage had been swirling since 2014, and the gossip kept going strong in 2015 and 2016. Then bam, we get this album with all these lyrics, and it's like a spotlight on the cracks in their relationship. Enter Rachel Roy, the ex-wife of Jay Z's former friend and business partner Damon Dash, posting stuff on Instagram that had people thinking it was a nod to Beyonce. She said, "Good hair, don't care, but we will take good lighting for selfies or self-truths." And just like that, people went on the attack, thinking she's the infamous Becky. Beyonce fans flooded her socials with bee and lemon emojis, and let's just say you don't want to be on the wrong side when it comes to the Bay Hive. Rachel was definitely feeling the heat. It's like walking into the lion's den with that crowd. Now let's talk about someone else in the mix who's often linked to Jay Z besides his wife, Foxy Brown. So it looks like Jay Z and Foxy might have gotten tight when she was super young. Their story began when Foxy was like 14 or 15, making her debut on the scene with LL Cool J's I Shot Ya remix. Foxy started making waves in the music world, teaming up with big names, but the one who stood out was Jay Z. They kept working together, co-writing and all that jazz. Their first big collab, Ain't No N, dropped on the Nutty Professor soundtrack in '96. Then her first album, Il Na Na, hit the scene when she was just 17, and Jay Z had his hands all over it, scoring 5 co-writing credits. There's this track, Il Na Na, where you can totally catch Jay Z's vibes. It's like a sneak peek into something more than just a professional thing, and it gets spicy with some explicit lyrics. Who's got the illest pee on the planet? Sugar Wall's coming down, N can't stand it, the Il Na Na. True absolute vodka, straight shots. For the has-beens and have-nots, Dalla Dalla. Real and it don't stop, we moving up. First the mansion, then the yacht, sound proper. Straight cash get got, bloodhounds, trying to hunt down the brown fox, the Il Na Na. Seriously, letting a teenager sing these types of lyrics? Back in the 90s, folks were buzzing with rumors that Jay Z and Foxy were more than just collaborators. They never spilled the beans on it, but the word on the street was they were super close, both in and out of the recording booth. Even Nas's infamous Ether track dropped hints about Jay Z and Foxy having more than just a friendly thing, stirring up more speculation. One of the lyrics says, "Foxy got you hot cause you kept your face in her pee. What you think you getting girls now cause of your looks?" Now, with all this wild info about Jay Z, you might be wondering why he's not catching the same heat as his buddy P. Diddy. And why is he still thriving in the industry? Plus, why is Beyonce still by his side? Well, there are whispers that Jay Z might have a serious drinking problem, and some say Beyonce might be scared of him because he could potentially get physical. Now, if all this turns out to be true, it's seriously mind-blowing. But you know how celebs' dirty laundry is airing out lately. Just look at P. Diddy, especially with Solange not letting up on Jay Z's neck. Maybe Jay's secrets will spill sooner than we think. Anyway, what's your take on all this? Drop your thoughts in the comments and we'll catch you in the next video.